Chapter 67 started as Jinwoo's heart sank as he heard a sharp voice from behind him. "What do you think you're doing there?" The unexpected question made Jinwoo's pulse quicken. He had been so absorbed in observing the dungeon boss that he had failed to notice the approaching presence of the voice's owner. Realizing he had been caught, he felt a wave of embarrassment wash over him. As the owner of the voice approached, Jinwoo exhaled softly, trying to regain his composure. The voice repeated, "I asked what you were doing." Jinwoo turned to face the speaker, forcing a sheepish grin. "I got lost and ended up here by mistake." The woman scrutinized Jinwoo. Hae-In's eyes darted to Jinwoo's hands, searching for any weapons but finding none. Confused because she had initially thought he was holding a dagger, she then noticed his attire. "Are you part of the excavation team?" she inquired. Seemingly reassured by his innocent appearance, Hae-In decided to focus on ensuring his safety. "Please leave. If you accidentally trigger the boss, it could endanger everyone in the dungeon." Jinwoo apologized as he walked past her. A curious thought crossed Hae-In's mind, prompting her to call out, "Excuse me." Jinwoo turned back, slightly uneasy. "Yes? Could you turn this way for a moment?" Hae-In asked, her tone as neutral as possible. Jinwoo complied, though confusion was evident on his face. Hae-In moved closer, her curiosity piqued. Removing her handkerchief, she inhaled deeply, her eyes widening in surprise. There was no foul stench emanating from Jinwoo. In fact, he smelled pleasantly clean. Jinwoo was baffled by her behavior. "Is there a problem?" he asked. Hae-In was taken aback by Jinwoo's lack of the usual hunter's odor. "Are you really a hunter?" she asked, her voice tinged with disbelief. Jinwoo, sensing her doubt, produced his hunter's license and handed it to her. Hae-In compared the photo with Jinwoo's face, noting his E-rank status. She thought that maybe the absence of a foul smell was due to his low rank. "May I leave now?" Jinwoo asked politely, reclaiming his license as Hae-In handed it back. Hae-In, still processing the anomaly, couldn't come up with anything more to say. "Just be careful as you head back. It's easy to get lost in here," she finally advised. Jinwoo nodded in acknowledgement and headed back towards the excavation site. Jinwoo's pleasant odor was unlike anything she had experienced with other hunters. While leaving, the foreman told Jinwoo how fortunate he was to have run into Hunter Cha Hae-In, calling it a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Another hunter mentioned that Hunter Cha has the ability to detect a specific scent emitted by hunters, which he finds extremely repulsive. It was added that Hunter Cha has a unique condition. Jinwoo's thoughts drifted back to his encounter with Hae-In. He was intrigued by her reaction and the peculiar nature of his own scent. Jinwoo considered that perhaps, because he was a player and not a hunter, he lacked the distinctive scent that hunters have. He speculated that this might be why Hae-In didn't seem to detect any scent from him. Later, Jinwoo received his paycheck since the excavation team had finished their work early. He was met with praise from his colleagues and smiled at their compliments, pleased with his performance and the chance to witness an A-rank dungeon boss up close. The foreman told Jinwoo that he was born to be a miner, and then asked if Jinwoo would be interested in working under him. He also mentioned that the pay was good. Jinwoo replied that he appreciated the offer but had other commitments. The foreman then asked if Jinwoo would be available tomorrow. Surprised, Jinwoo inquired if the Hunters Guild was planning another raid the next day. The foreman confirmed that they were indeed going on another raid, with another A-rank gate. However, it would be Strike Squad B attending, not Strike Squad A. The foreman added that the Hunters Guild was the only guild in Korea with 2 strike squads. Jinwoo agreed to join them again the next day. The foreman was pleased and jokingly said that since Jinwoo worked 5 times faster, his pay should be doubled. The scene shifts to a Korean restaurant where Jin-ho is having dinner with his cousin, Soo-hyun. Soo-hyun is complaining to Jin-ho that he came all the way here just to talk and eat pork belly in a Korean restaurant. Jin-ho, who is somewhat drunk, responds that there is nothing wrong with a Korean restaurant and that it is a sacred place for him and Jinwoo. Soo-hyun then asks why Jinwoo called him. Jin-ho explains that he had already spoken to his father and everything turned out fine. This leads Soo-hyun to ask if Jin-ho is going to become a guild master. Jin-ho replies that he needs Jinwoo's help to achieve that. Soo-hyun wonders who this Jinwoo is that Jin-ho keeps mentioning. Just then, Jin-ho, who is now crying, shows his phone, revealing that he can't contact Jinwoo. Soo-hyun asks if there is a relationship between Jin-ho and Jinwoo. Suddenly, Jin-ho noticed a news report about A-list actor Lee Min-sung on the TV. Min-sung appeared modest while speaking to reporters, but Soo-hyun was unimpressed. She criticized Min-sung for pretending to be humble and dragging out his A-rank status for publicity. Soo-hyun, who had a low opinion of Min-sung, felt frustrated by his media manipulation and persistent attempts to impress her. She found his narcissism, exacerbated by his A-rank status, particularly irritating and struggled to shake off her annoyance. Soo-hyun, impatient with Jin-ho, took his phone and called Jinwoo. She was frustrated that Jin-ho only had a brief message and was in a rush. In shock, Jinwoo answered. Jin-ho asked why Jinwoo had been slow to contact him. Explained he had been busy with dungeon visits. Jinwoo then asked how Jin-ho's conversation with his father went. Jin-ho said he would explain in person and asked if he could visit the next day. Jinwoo agreed to a late-night visit, and Jin-ho confirmed that would work. Meanwhile, Hae-In struggled to sleep that night, her mind preoccupied with Jinwoo. His absence of the usual hunter's stench had left her unsettled. Driven by curiosity, Hae-In contacted Myunki Jo, the director of the hunter's recruitment team.